Good morning and happy Friday. Welcome back to the Daily Grind. I'm your host, Chump Change. This is live and recorded. For anybody that might be new here, what we typically do is go over crypto news. I update myself and I bring you guys along for the ride. Let's see who's here in the chat and then we'll get into this. Mr. Max Voltage, my man, DJ Mines in the house. Good to see you, buddy. We have Steven Cicero here, Crypto Craig, Nerd Beast, Dom G, Ogre, Patrick. What's up, dude? Good to see you. Vinny, good morning, sir. Daddy Chill. Love that name. Good to see you, buddy. All set. What's up, buddy? I don't think you stuck around, but good to see you. Thanks for popping by to say hello. All right, Mr. Rob Mines, my man. Thanks for being a member for 6 months, dude. You're awesome. Appreciate you. Scott Sheffield, everybody else I may have missed. Love you all. All right, let's get into this. We have Bitcoin looking like 64,374 bucks. Oh yeah, looking really strong actually going into the weekend. Ethereum 31.39. We have Near over here up 6.57% on the day to $7.17. LTC looks like it's doing all right, up 3.67%, 86 bucks. Let's see, Caspa up 0.68% to almost 12 cents as of right now. ETC is at 26 bucks, up 2.19% on the day. ICP looks like it's down a little bit today, 13.3. ADA, I still think this is a great buy, 47 cents, my opinion. XRP 52 cents. Solana 143 bucks. Let's see, nothing really else popping out at me. Yeah, that's about it. Let's move on to crypto bubbles. Let's see, I got a few things I want to watch today, so we got to speed through this. Bonk up 7.5% today. Look at that. We have Near up 5.5%. We have, let's see, what's this? Ronin down 6.2% on the day. $2.90. What's this W? Wormhole. Wormhole is up 5% even at 60 cents. We have BitTorrent up here, up 6.1%. Fetch AI is down 2%, $2.23. We have Pendle is down 5.5% to $5.66. Let's see. Celestia is down 3.1% to $10.44. Say is down 2.3 to 59 cents. Immutable X is down 2.8% to $2.06. Nothing else really jumping out. Everything's just kind of floating along. H-bars took a little bit of a hit after its insane pump to like 17 cents the other day over that BlackRock BS news, whoever posted that. Let's see. Yeah, Wormhole. I don't know. I don't know. I have no idea what this coin is. I have no idea. I've never looked into it, but I've seen it a few times on this list. Caspa again up 0.8%. I think Caspa's gearing up for a nice jump, but we'll have to see what happens there. Shiba is up 1.3%. Toncoin up 3%, $5.40. All right, let's move on. Flashbang. We got Fear and Greed Index at a 70, which is amazing. This is perfect, right?
Perfect.
Definitely a good thing. You want to really pay attention to it when it's over 75, or at least that's what I do, right? Typically over 75, it's when I start like really kind of gauging the market, but under 75, it's just kind of like we're floating along. And I think things are going to go pretty well as of right now. I don't think we're going to have a major pullback until it gets over that needle. All right, trending coins. We have Popcat. Looks like it's up 58.6%. Damn, it's up to 53 cents. We have Brett down 26% in Athena down 1.5%. Those are the trending coins. All right, top 10 coins by coin market cap over on CoinGecko. We got Bitcoin, Ethereum, Tether, BNB, Solana, USDC, Lado staked Ether, XRP, Dogecoin, and Toncoin. Was XRP here yesterday? Did those two flip? I think those two flipped. $28.8 billion market cap. I'm still shocked that XRP has this high of a market cap. It's kind of crazy. Even though they did kind of pave the way for the court stuff, right? It's I don't know. It's just kind of one of them coins that I've never really been into. I don't know about you guys. Jim C said Wormhole was airdropped to D-Gods in Mad Labs NFT holders. Wormhole is a communication bridge between Solana and other top decentralized finance or DeFi networks. Interesting. Thank you very much for that, Mr. Jim C. All right, ADA looking like it's in 11th place. Again, I still think this is a great buy. Looking at the max chart, 2017 bull run, 2021 bull run, and we're coming around to the 2024 at the end of this year, looking like $3.09, down 84%. I'm going to DCA into some more today. Actually, I bought more Caspa last night, but I think I'm going to get some more Cardano today. Seems like a good idea. All right, Let's see. Chainlink, I think, is another one that could do pretty well. Polkadot is going to do pretty well, in my opinion. Let's see. LTC, I think, is a decent buy. Probably an easy 3x in the bull run, right? 86 bucks. This has ran up on both bull runs before. I mentioned that yesterday as well. Hedera, again, lived off some crazy news the other day. You can see 17 cents, but apparently it was BS. So it's still holding up there, though, which is kind of crazy. Filecoin. Filecoin is at $6. Let's see. Max Voltage thinks this one's going to pop off. And so does Lark Davis, actually, as well. So this is kind of, I don't know. We're going to see. It's down 97.5%. You could definitely make some massive gains on this if it does pop off. 236 bucks is its all-time high. It's at $6. I was thinking about getting some last night, but I don't know. I don't know. It was like on the BNB chain, and I really didn't want to do that. I don't know why. Does it matter if you buy Filecoin on the BNB chain or you just buy it on like its own main chain? Let me know in the chat if you guys have done either or. Let's see. Anything else? Nothing really crazy. Nothing really crazy. $2.7 billion market cap on Caspa. I think that's still looking good. All right, let's move on to the mining segment of things. I want to see what we're looking like over here. All right, you guys know I like to timestamp this. See what the most profitable miner of the day was. We have the KS5 Pro 21 terahash unit making over $100 a day, $100.77.
Perfect.
At least it's over $100 again. We have the Antminer KS5 20 terahash unit making $95.97. KS5L 12 terahash unit making $53.74. And we got the AL box in 4th place now, 360 gigahashes, 180 watts, mining lithium, making $51.05 a day.
Bruh.
This has been falling off a cliff. The next couple weeks are going to be like do or die for lithium, I feel like, with this miner. Real quick, it's going to be a flashbang, so prepare yourself. Here we go. Look at this. Look at this hash rate. We have 500 terahashes on the 20th of April, and this shit is up almost 800 now. In like a week's time. Literally, if we give it a couple more days, it's probably going to 2x its hash rate. It killed the profitability on GPUs for sure. That's crazy. 788, and this probably didn't even update yet today. It probably didn't. That's crazy. That's crazy. Anyways, all right, we got the BM KS Max 11 terahash unit making $46 a day. The Windminer K9 10.3 terahashes making $45.21. The Ice River KS3 8 terahash unit making $33.59. We got the KS3M 6 terahash unit making $22.79 a day. That one's been dropping pretty good, not gonna lie. All right, the Antminer L7, dude, still for a 3-year-old machine, 3+ years old. This my 9050 is still running down Terra Hosting. Shout out to them. If you guys are interested in paying 10 cents kilowatt hour, go there. I can't pay 30 cents to run this thing at my house, so I'm making $11.36 a day. Oh, down there. Anyways, and if I was doing it up here, I'd be losing money for sure. For sure. But man, I still can't believe that thing's holding profits that high. It's crazy. The KS2 2 terahash unit making $7.44 a day. That's, man, that's crazy. You know what? With my 10 KS0s I have in my solar trailer running on solar that have been working flawlessly, by the way, super excited about it. I'm getting 2 terahashes. I'm pulling 980 watts, I think, if I'm not mistaken, total, and I'm getting $10 a day, or close to $10 a day, not the 744. So this is obviously calculating the wattage you're spending here. They have an extra like 200 plus watts. That's why I went for the KS0s versus one big machine. Like I got 5 KS0s instead of 1 KS1 because it was 100 watts less, and in my situation I need lower wattage, right? So it made sense. Doughboy, what's up, man? Good to see you. Dan R says, good morning. It was the difficulty for lithium yesterday on miner pool stats for the month of January and February. Interesting. Yeah, dude, it's crazy. It's going nuts. Where is the S19K? I need to find that. Where are you? You way down here? Oh God. Where is it? I definitely scrolled past it. Guys, I'm blind. Tell me where it is. S19K, where are you? I'm gonna have to search it. Son of a B. All right. S19K. Let's see. Oh God, it's only making 11 cents a day.
Bruh.
It was further down. I thought that I was far enough down. I wasn't. Where? Oh my god, dude, 11 cents a day. Get the out of here. That's crazy. I can't believe that. Well, I can, I guess. Man, that's brutal. And that's at 10 cents kilowatt hour. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh, we're only making $6.74 a day. That's if you have free electric. That's nuts, man. What happened to Digibyte? Digibyte must have corrected their stuff after Mining King's videos. By the way, somebody that doesn't get enough recognition for their videos is Mining King. If you guys don't watch him or haven't seen him, please go check him out, because his videos are freaking awesome and he explains things perfectly and he does actual tests and he's a brilliant guy. So like, if you guys aren't subbed to the Mining King, go check him out, because yeah, he made very good points in that video and I'm glad that they corrected it, because clearly something was off. And I'm just, man, that sucks. That really sucks. Anyways, Ice River KS0 Pro 200 gigahash unit, making 8 Caspa a day, almost, well, 8.5, just about, at 79 cents in profit per day. That's at 10 cents kilowatt hour. Crazy. Thank you, Patrick Murphy, for putting his link in the chat. All right, let's move on to GPUs, see what the most profitable GPUs are, or most profitable coin rather. 4090 has Ironfish and Caspa Classic still top of the charts there. Interesting. Ironfish and Pyron. We have Bitcoin Gold BTG on the 4080, the 4070 Ti, the 7900 XT, and the 7900 XTX with Ironfish and Graham. Interesting. That 170 HX is getting our best on Ironfish just by itself. 4080 Super, Ironfish and Caspa Classic. Same thing for the 4070 Ti. We got Bitcoin Gold and Chlor. Bitcoin Gold and AIPG on the 3090 Ti. It weirds me out that Kapow is the best on the 3090. I still don't get it. It's crazy that it's that efficient on that card. We have the 3080 Ti, Bitcoin Gold again, Ironfish Caspa Classic. Seems to be the pretty much consensus all the way down with all these cards. A5000, BTG, Bureau, I guess, as well. 50 HX is Graham and Bitcoin Gold. Crazy. Stay off Chlor, yeah. Oh man. All right, let's see. Wait, how many S19s does King have? Super smart, JK. Listen, Bitcoin will pump and he'll be making money. Hold on. What does he got? What does he have? S19 J Pros, I think. Oh shit. Yeah, that's an oof. That's a big oof, bro.
Bruh.
Oh no. All right, well, he's sad today. He needs subs. You guys get over there and sub to him, will you? All right, anyways, let's move on. Check out, see if there's any new coins on the list. Nope, still Peppa Pow, this Peppa Pig coin. That is, I still don't know how they're not going to get sued over this logo, but hey, listen, guys, don't go to these sites, don't download anything, because this could be a giant rug pull and you could get a virus. You never know. And it's nothing against this coin specifically, just in general. When you get off of miningpoolstats.stream, just like a quick thing, please make sure your computer's VLAN or you're safe, at least, you know. All right, sorry, events calendar. Let's see what we got. Kevacoin having 16 days, Pyrons in 25 days, Ethereum Classics in 34. Octaspace went through their halving. This is a deep in project, a storage project, if you guys didn't know, 3 days ago. And Bitcoin Gold just passed theirs 57 hours ago, so obviously that's contributing to the profitability, obviously, on that coin. All right, let's move on to the news segment of things. What in the actual is going on here? Biden's 44.6% capital gains tax proposal likely a nothing burger? Like, what? Could you imagine? Crypto KJ, my man, thank you so much for the $5 super chat. He said, oof, rip S19K. Here's a couple of bucks so you can feed your kids. Oh, Crypto KJ, thank you very much for that. Appreciate it. Keeping the streaming alive all by himself. Love it. All right, let's see. United States President Joe Biden's proposal to increase the capital gains tax rate to 44.6% for certain people. I think he means for crypto people. Isn't that what he means? Get the hell out of here. This guy. The highest rate in U.S. history. He woke up and decided to tax people. That's what happened. Finally woke up after like 2 years. Will likely be nothing burger for the average crypto investor. Oh, really? Matthew, founder of Crypto Tax Made Easy, told Cointelegraph that Biden's latest tax promises probably won't affect most people in crypto, even if they did end up being signed into law. They said in quotations, for 99.9% of people, it's a big fat nothing burger because it's essentially just a proposal. And that's, you know what, that's a good point. So we have to understand that most of the things that are brought forth to the courts don't really pass, right? But what they do is they will FUD the shit out of all this to make you guys scared of investing in crypto in general. It's more or less just like I don't know, it's a tactic, I think, personally. But if this ever did happen, could you imagine how suck that would be? That would be awful. Let me I'm gonna scroll down here because I read a little piece. Where was it? I'm not gonna read this whole thing, but there was something about unrealized gains. Where the hell is it? Oh, right here. Is Biden coming for your unrealized gains? So if you guys don't know what unrealized gains are, obviously this is like, say you bought Bitcoin a year ago and you're up 40%, right? That 40% is your unrealized gains because you haven't sold that crypto yet. You're still holding it. Now it says, notably, Biden's federal budget proposal also includes a 25% tax on unrealized gains for ultra high net worth individuals. So this is obviously if you have a shit ton of crypto, but still, that's bullshit. The tax you on money you didn't even take yet. In April 25th post to X, Bitcoin commentator Jason Williams described the 25% tax proposal as insane, adding that it could single-handedly crush the economy. And I agree, 1,000%. It's difficult to describe how insane 25% tax on unrealized capital gains is. Not a one-time 25% hit. It's compounding annually, taking 25% of every dollar of potential increase before it can grow. Not an exaggeration to say it could single-handedly crush the economy. I will leave the United States at the passing of this. That is insane. That tax is not for us. So Dan R, what do you mean it's not for us? This is crazy. This is crazy. I mean, obviously none of this is for us now, right? It hasn't passed yet. It has to pass. But if you have, hold on. All right, so this goes right. However, Biden's proposal 25% tax targeting unrealized gains would only apply to individual taxpayers with more than 100 million in net assets. So that's what you're talking about, Dan. So yeah, if you have a shit ton of money, right? But what do you guys think is going to happen with just us as a whole? If this ever passed, it's just gonna, shit rolls downhill, man. Shit rolls downhill, and it's coming right at us. I'm sorry, not a fan of him. Not a fan. I wish I had a eat shit Biden button, but I don't.
Eat shit, Gary.
So we'll celebrate with that one. All right, let's move on. We have stock markets earnings backdrop upholds positive outlook, says Fundstrat's Tom Lee over here on CNBC television. Guys, that like button. Appreciate you for hanging out. Let's do it.
Let's get now reaction and maybe what to do. Tom Lee and Joe. Tom, I'll start with you. Honestly, I don't think enough is attentions to this capital gains proposal we got last night. I think that might be sprinkled in here. But anyway, GDP's getting all the attention. Steve laid it out nicely. What is your take?
I agree with Steve's point. You know, the GDP number did catch people off guard. The core price index being basically a hot number, 2.9 year over year. But it is going to come down to the revisions, which everyone expects. I think there's also now a disconnect between the CPI numbers we're seeing and like what we hear from companies or even, consumer surveys. I mean, for instance, in just this first quarter earnings season, the mentions of inflation as a problem is now at the lowest level since the first quarter of 2021. So it makes me wonder, how is inflation accelerating when fewer companies are even mentioning it as a problem in the first quarter? I think that there are catalysts, in the next couple of weeks. I mean, the first one, of course, is tomorrow to see really what March inflation looks like. But I think the earnings backdrop has actually been very supportive. 80% of companies are beating. So as painful as the last couple of days have been, and really the last couple of weeks, I actually think it's the risk reward's positive here.
So the firm landing is here, in my opinion. We did hear from Whirlpool. We did hear from Harley Davidson that they are having difficulty passing through rising input costs to the consumer. And that's not a bad thing. In fact, if you look at the price action today, right now, where we are in the market, we have recovered everything that we lost after the GDP print and after the inflation figures were released. So we've recovered it all. This is really where we sit in the marketplace right now off of Meta and the spending that's attributed to Meta. I think that the rest of the world is experiencing a disinflationary trend that ultimately is going to get exported here to the United States. Brian, you look at Europe, you're talking about inflation readings that are in the twos, whether it's France or Germany. Italy's at 1.2. Asia is in outright deflation. That's coming here, and I just don't think that's a bad thing. And the premise for buying equities in 2024 never was about the Fed has to cut rates, because if it was, at the beginning of the year when there was 7 rate cuts priced in, now we're pricing in 1 rate cut, maybe in December, well, the equity market would be lower from the starting point in January. We're actually higher.
And Joe and John, jump in on this. Can we just, remember the Super Bowl with the Falcons and the Patriots? And the Falcons are up like 100-0 at halftime. 28-3. Whatever, and then Brady comes back and wins. Can we all just acknowledge that the stock market is up this week? Even with today, we're still higher for the week. We're only like 1% or 2% off all-time highs. Market has one big down day.
Profit margins are strong. You know, everyone wants to focus on the economic recession that never happened. The real recession that happened that matters most is the earnings recession. And we've come out of the earnings recession in the second half of 2023 for the S&P and the NASDAQ. We're waiting on the Russell, and that's a catalyst.
Yeah, Tom, though, we've got a couple big names tonight, and we'll get Dan's take on that in just a second, Dan Ives. But, I mean, what if Microsoft and Alphabet soil the sheets? I think is that the family-friendly term with the numbers tonight? I mean, then what? Because Meta kind of did.
Yeah, I mean, Meta was up 40% into the earnings report, so I think expectations were high. I think there has been sort of a reset, so I think there's if it's a beat, we could see stocks rewarded. And overall, it has been a good earnings season. 80% of companies are beating, and if you really exclude energy, you're really pushing up against double-digit earnings growth year over year. So it's exactly what Joe was saying. It's been a pretty nice earnings recovery. And I think as you get into the second half of this year, healthcare no longer has negative year-over-year comps. So, you could be back into the mid-teens earnings growth. So I think the earnings backdrop's really supportive, and there's still $6 trillion of cash on the sidelines.
Damn, Meta took a hit yesterday, huh? I saw a lot of news about that, but I didn't think it was really relevant. Real quick, Much Train in the chat. Yeah, I don't like the FUD either, but to be honest, it's they're gonna FUD stuff to put negative light on things they don't want to rule the world, right? They don't want Bitcoin to be bigger than it already is, and that's gonna happen with this whole freaking proposal bullshit. Like, it's ridiculous, right? You can't tell me this isn't because of crypto. Like, it's 100% because of crypto, but that's the narrative in the space. That's what they're gonna do, gonna make it sound like shit. Bitcoin outperforms the NASDAQ after U.S. economy grew less than projected in Q1. CNBC's Crypto World. Let's see what they got to say over here, guys. Hit that like button. Appreciate you for hanging out. Let's do it.
Today, Bitcoin outperformed stocks after data reveals the economy grew less than projected. The DOJ announces 2 separate crypto enforcement actions. And in an exclusive on-camera interview, Anchorage Digital's CEO explains the platform's new crypto settlement network. Welcome to CNBC's Crypto World. I'm Talia Kaplan.
Crypto KJ, you beat me to it by like a second.
Major cryptocurrencies slightly in the red following the release of data this morning, showing that economic growth in the U.S. slowed in early 2024. Gross domestic product, a broad measure of goods and services produced between January and March, rose at a 1.6% annualized pace, lower than Wall Street's estimate of 2.4% growth. As of noon Eastern, Bitcoin fell less than 1%, holding above $64,000. Ether dipped less than 0.5% as both cryptocurrencies outperformed the stock market as of noon, with the Dow and tech-heavy NASDAQ both falling 1.5%. Solana, however, dropped more substantially, nearly 2.5%.
Real quick, Piranha Cards. He proposes that every year. It's not because of crypto. I think the narrative this year is because of crypto, though. It's just because it's doing so well. Last year it wasn't it about it was a big tax on something else. It was on like the whole mining side of things last year, if I'm not mistaken, correct?
Okay, let's talk about the top stories. The Department of Justice announced enforcement actions in 2 separate cases in New York. The Southern District of New York announced the arrest of 2 people behind the crypto mixer Samurai Wallet. In a joint effort between the IRS and FBI, Samurai's CEO and CTO are accused.
Oh, that's true. It's an election year. That's true.
Of transacting more than $2 billion as an unlicensed money transmitter.
Oh, shit. Did anybody use this, by the way? I heard about this yesterday. The Samurai Wallet. I've never even heard of it until yesterday, actually, until this whole thing came about. So has anybody used this? Let me know in the chat.
Officials also claim the 2 were involved in laundering more than $100 million worth of transactions from dark web markets, including Silk Road. At the same time, the Eastern District of New York announced the sentencing of an Instagram influencer, Jabara Igbara, for fraud schemes that involve cryptocurrencies.
What?
The influencer, who goes by Jay Mazzini, was sentenced to 7 years in prison.
Some made-up names.
Scheme targeting Muslim Americans and raised money by deceiving victims into giving up their crypto holdings.
Control PC said, yes, I do. Were you affected by it at all? Did anything happen with your wallet? I have no idea. It's part of my ignorance. NY is a joke. Yeah. New York is so hard for crypto. It's crazy. I don't understand why either. It's like they act like they're on their own island.
Claimed he was actually buying it from them at a premium. Next, California Congresswoman Maxine Waters says she thinks the country could soon see stablecoin regulation. The top Democrat on the House Financial Services Committee told Bloomberg yesterday that she believes we are, quote, on our way to getting a stablecoin bill in the short run. In the interview, she mentioned that many entities have weighed in on stablecoin regulation, including Federal Reserve banks, the Treasury Department, and the White House.
How do you guys feel about that? How do you feel about that, actually? I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that.
She says
it might be
top
good.
priority is protecting investors by making sure companies have the assets to back up stablecoins.
Man, like I'm all for like, decentralization, but like that might be a good thing. I don't know. Man, these people in the chat with this BS whatever coin, stop posting it because we're just going to keep deleting it.
Senators Kristen Gillibrand and Cynthia Lummis introduced a new stablecoin bill last week aimed at creating a regulatory framework for stablecoins, including mandating a one-to-one reserve, banning algorithmic stablecoins, and complying with U.S. anti-money laundering and sanctions rules. Last, Anchorage Digital just introduced a new global crypto settlement service. The regulated crypto platform announced its new settlement network called Atlas, short for Anchorage Digital Trusted Liquidity and Settlement. Anchorage says it's designed to settle both U.S. dollars and digital assets. Atlas was built for institutional counterparties and enables different kinds of settlements, including over-the-counter and off-exchange settlements. According to Anchorage, Atlas is the only settlement network offered by a federally chartered bank. The company says that since its early access launch earlier this year, Atlas has already settled hundreds of millions of dollars in digital assets. The new network provides direct settlement on a blockchain between wallets rather than relying on intermediaries. The service is also supposed to be faster and more secure than traditional ways of moving funds.
Interesting. Scott Sheffield said, I agree. Regulation around stablecoins might be good. Yeah, I'm kind of torn on that. I don't know. That might really be a good thing. To be honest, it might be.
For our main
But I mean, it could also be bad. I don't know. There's two sides to it.
In an exclusive on-camera interview, Crypto World's Tanea McKeel spoke with Nathan McCauley, Anchorage Digital's co-founder and CEO, about the new crypto settlement network.
Yeah, Much Train said if U.S. doesn't regulate, someone else will, and they win the game. Yeah. So it's like, man, like we almost need it to have adoption, right? Mass adoption, like Motu says. Yeah, I mean that's true. It's very true.
Anchorage Digital is launching Atlas. That's a settlement product for both digital assets and U.S. dollars. Talk to me about why you're choosing to launch this settlement network.
So Atlas is a groundbreaking new settlement network that is here to really solve all the settlement needs for institutional counterparties. Anybody who wants to participate in the digital asset ecosystem wants to be able to settle assets safely and securely and between the counterparties. And what we found is that there's no good option on the market that provides everything that the institutions of the world need. Safe, regulated, reliable settlement infrastructure is something that really we think will catalyze a new era of adoption for digital assets. And we're looking to bring that forward with Atlas.
Where do you think that this product fits into the banking system right now? Is your goal to take on something like Swift, for instance, or is this seen more as a replacement for things like Signature and Silvergate, which, of course, were shut down during the banking turmoil last year, but both of those institutions provided huge amounts of liquidity for crypto-focused institutions?
Sure. So what's interesting here is that there's not necessarily a direct parallel between something like Swift or something like Signature or Silvergate. What's really needed within the digital asset ecosystem is safe settlement of crypto. And safe movement of crypto within the ecosystem. And so a big part of what we've heard from our clients, from institutions, is that they want to have reliable settlement of Bitcoin, reliable settlement of Ethereum, and other assets that they'd like to trade. And so while our system will support dollars, and we are looking forward to supporting dollars, this is really kind of a net new development in the ecosystem, really encompassing both the crypto legs and the dollar legs of transactions.
How are you thinking about regulation of Atlas? Obviously, Anchorage is federally chartered, but there's uncertainty around crypto regulation here in the US. Does that create any uncertainty around this project? And have you guys been in touch with regulators?
Not at all. So on our side, we've absolutely been in touch with regulators across the board. In fact, our national bank charter specifically calls out that one of the activities that is allowed within Anchorage Digital Bank is the settlement of transactions. And so what we've done with Atlas is taken that clear regulatory position that we have in order to settle assets for institutions, and applied a set of features on top that make that safer, easier to find your counterparties, and easier to just reliably know that you are interacting with the folks that you want to be interacting with. So in terms of regulatory clarity, there are many areas within the crypto ecosystem that may have some regulatory uncertainty. Settlement of assets, undeniably very clear regulatory approval to participate in that, and so this is an area where it's pretty cut and dry, and going to be helpful to look at safe settlement in a new way, and really kind of apply the same kinds of security, safety, and regulatory clarity that we take from the Anchorage Digital Bank custody business and apply that into the settlement ecosystem.
I was just reading the chat quick. Max Voltage said, hold on, let me pull it back up. He said there is a pending Supreme Court case regarding taxing unrealized gains, 22-800. Interesting. Now he's going down that. Thanks for triggering me to go down that rabbit hole. Please let me know, Max, because I'm concerned. I think that's something we could talk about on Saturday night, actually.
Well, let's talk about the rest of your business. So looking more broadly, things have been doing well in crypto, looking at the Bitcoin price alone. So how has that boost in activity across the market affected your business? And how are you thinking about the state of crypto right now with the new adoption from Wall Street?
Yeah, it's been a great year for crypto. Certainly the overall overcurrent of the crypto markets has been very positive, not just on the price side, but also on adoption side, where we're seeing really kind of a global movement towards exchange traded products. Some of that starting here within the U.S., but then also that's looking like it's going to happen the globe over. There's also a lot of positive sentiment among not just the top coins like Bitcoin and Ethereum, but others. Some of the innovations happening there around social use cases, decentralized finance use cases, where we're seeing a lot of innovation and just overall optimism in the market. This has all been very good for Anchorage. Anchorage is at all-time highs in terms of all of our business metrics, assets under custody, recently crossing over 50 billion. We've done so far in Atlas, our the exchange settlement product that we're rolling out right now, already done hundreds of millions in volume on that. And really kind of we at Anchorage are firing on all cylinders, and the broader market is doing so as well.
And, you know, sticking with that, what's your outlook for Anchorage Digital for the rest of the year? And you just touched on some things, but what are some of the projects that you guys are more focused on, be it Atlas or otherwise?
Yeah, several areas. So Atlas is going to be a big launch for us. We're looking forward to onboarding more counterparties. We've got a lot of demand. There's a kind of a waiting list of people looking to get into Atlas and start settling safely within that ecosystem. Beyond that, we're looking forward to several large token launches that will happen over the rest of the year. We really like to support the innovators in the space. So the new protocols that are launching, we're going to continue to see that adoption carry forward. And then, of course, as the institutional adoption continues to take hold and propagate, looking forward to adding more institutions as they come in, whether they're coming in to participate in Bitcoin and purchasing of Bitcoin or other top assets, or if they're looking to diversify into others. We provide trading services, settlement services, as we've talked about, and then, of course, our bread and butter is the federally regulated custody services that we provide.
Okay, that's all for.
All right, shout out to CNBC Crypto World for that. Real quick, just want to do a public service announcement. Any person that is like sitting there spamming in the chat a certain coin, guys, please know that that is a scam. That is a scam coin, and it's never going to go anywhere. People are just going to take your money. All right, please, especially in comments too on YouTube videos. You'll notice there'll be like a bunch of people talking about like this stupid block sailor one, whatever that is. I don't even know what the coin is, but it's a scam. Same with the one that's being posted in the chat randomly, and that's why I put it on subscriber mode only, because they have to subscribe to actually be able to put out the whatever. They have to subscribe for more than like a minute, so every one of the people just keep getting hidden. Just keep it in mind. It's a scam. Please don't fall for that shit. Anyways, all right, let's move on. I want to watch Crypto Zombies video. I haven't had a chance to watch this. Bitcoin alert. It's about to get serious. Don't get caught off guard. Let's see what he's got to say over here, guys. Hit that like button if you're not subscribed to Crypto Zombie. Go down in the description. I have a link to this video where you can subscribe there.
Most market participants are still focused on the private sector. Look how loose financial conditions are for the private sector, because that's all that's mattered for the last 40 years. But what we're seeing in treasury markets, financial conditions are far too tight for the federal government. When you go back through history and you look into these situations where the federal government of any nation that can print its own currency needs more money, and the private sector is already seeing secularly high inflation and tight unemployment, guess who wins that tug of war? It is the government 100% of the time. They print the money, they get their liquidity. To your point, this is just in recent weeks. We're still in the why are they doing this phase. But what follows the why are they doing this phase is, oh my God. We're Brazil. We're Argentina with US characteristics. And that, I think, will come in the next probably 3 to 6 months if I'm conservative about it. It could come faster. But that's why the US government has a fiscal problem.
What's going on, guys? KW
so
here with
great.
another episode of Crypto Zombie. Welcome back to the channel. Hope you're having a great day today. Now, the question on everybody's mind is, what's going on with Bitcoin? Why is the price not going up, right? Now, some people have attributed potentially the sell-off to the fact that you did have the founder and CEO of the cryptocurrency mixing service arrested and charged with money laundering and unlicensed money transmitting offenses. And this is the website. It's been seized. So I'm not really going to say the name of the website, but obviously this is creating a lot of issues. Specifically in the US, this is not looking too great. However, realistically, guys, I don't think the news has that much to do with the price action. It's been a bit of an unpopular opinion lately, and I've noticed in the comments that people just don't want to, sort of hear the fact that we may be in this consolidation where we could potentially see some lower levels for Bitcoin. But I'm just going to say right now that if you're panicking, that is the complete opposite of what you should actually be doing right now, because there's about to be a major shock to the system. And you might have kind of got a little bit of a hint based on the intro to this video today, but I'm going to go over what is most likely probably going to happen and why I do believe that we could potentially have that opportunity that everyone has been looking for. There is so much to go over today, guys. I highly recommend you stick around.
Crypto KJ says, does he live at the Playboy Mansion? Look at the pool in the background. That is actually insane. I didn't even notice that until you just said it.
Around to the end of this video, because when you realize the bigger picture of what is truly happening right now, not just in the US, but in the world overall, compared to what is happening with Bitcoin, I think you'll understand what's secretly kind of happening in the background. So I hope that by the end of this video, you guys understand where I'm coming from and why I've had this short-term opinion, or at least what I'm seeing in the charts for Bitcoin. But long-term, this thing is going to get absolutely bananas, guys. And friendly reminder, if you are looking to trade,
Gonna skip that.
RSI, you don't usually see continuation of these moves until you have the stochastic RSI starting to curve back upwards, right? That usually signals the end of the sell-off, and we're still only kind of in the 70%-ish range, right? So this is what's suggesting to me potentially that yes, there could be some more, room to the downside, but ultimately, you're dealing with these very constructive patterns, right? For example, like right here, look at this. We had consolidation. Right here, we had consolidation. And right here, we're having the exact same consolidation. But for some reason, every time the markets dip 20%, everyone freaks out and suddenly everything is out the window, which is not the case at all, right?
Yeah, he's had this channel for a while. Is this what time frame? Oh, it's the daily chart. This has been on here for a while.
You can see
couple months.
There is a likelihood that as Bitcoin continues to get rejected off the top of this parallel channel, that you could move somewhere to the bottom of this channel. You could even have a bearish fake out like down here. But I ultimately think that regardless of what happens, that would be very healthy for Bitcoin. And there were a lot of things that were aligning sort of around a $55,000 to $58,000 area. But, like Titan of Crypto pointed out.
Listen, I would like a $55,000 Bitcoin so you can buy more.
There's nothing in the charts that is suggesting that this is the top. I mean, even right here, where we didn't really technically have a blow off top, right? You still see these massive reversal wicks, right? These insane selling. You see, that's when people are, that's enough. I've made enough money in this bull run, and that's when you start to see people selling. And if we come over here, we're actually seeing more buying on the bottom side. I mean, if you have a look at the candle right here. So again, there's so many different reasons why we're range bound in this area. But don't forget, guys, while we consolidate under the 4.236 area, which is around that $73,000 area, take these dips with a blessing because, yes, again, you have the 0.786 around the $57,000 area, which I know nobody wants to hear the fact that we could go to those levels, but it's very possible. But you have to understand that in a constructive pattern, even having, this parabola that we have right now for Bitcoin, once we do break through, the next area of interest, because now we're in price discovery, is the 1.618, which brings Bitcoin to about $102,000. So if you were concerned about not being able to get enough Bitcoin or not being able to, get enough altcoins, I would say that based on, history, these are the opportunities, right? The closer we get to this 21 exponential right here, the better the buying opportunity. And honestly, sometimes you don't even touch that level. And currently you can see we're sitting very well above that. And not to just point out the confluence, but that level is around $55,900. So again, I'm not saying we have to go to these levels. In fact, you generally don't touch, the 21 EMA on the weekly when you're in these bull trends, but there still is a lot of confluence around that area. As I've said, where I believe we are right now in this market is the same area that we were right here, right? We were consolidating under the previous all-time high, and we were wedged between the two moving averages of the pi cycle indicator. And once you break through that, as I've showed you guys multiple times, that basically took us a 240% move last markets. And realistically, the first top happened in only about 147 days. Now look what we're doing right here. We're doing the exact same thing. Let me see if I could just reset this a little so you guys can see. So we're, retesting the top area right here. You come over and look, we're doing the same exact consolidation that we did back there. Oh, and not just to mention it again, but look at where the lower level is for this moving average. It's right around $56,700. So, I'm just saying there is that possibility. But here's the thing. Here's the thing that's happening. If we look at the dollar index is actually potentially running into this downwards sloping resistance. Now, why is this happening? Well, as we kind of stated, a little bit hinted earlier in the video with that intro clip, I think you know what they're about to do. These money printers are going to go absolutely freaking insane. And I'll get to that in just a minute, but I hope I'm not in the way for this. But again, if we just look at the MVR MVRVZ, that's a mouthful, score, you could see that we're still only just in this range right here. And this is usually a range that we tend to.
All right, hold on. I want to kill some FUD in the chat. CHB2. So you said, what does it matter if the price of Bitcoin, what does it matter the price of Bitcoin if your local stores don't ever accept its currency and you only promote it in the crypto community as a lottery that you hope it goes up? It's you're mistaken of what Bitcoin actually is. It's a store of value. It's not meant to be transactioned in stores as payments. That is the reason they have other coins like Caspa, like Litecoin, like other cryptocurrencies in the space are actually geared towards things like that, utility in, you know, the real world, right? Bitcoin is a digital gold. It's not, you're not going to take a bar of gold and bring it to the store and sell it. Like, you can't go to a 7-Eleven and sell a bar of gold. You can't. Like, it's a fact, right? So the argument you have here about this doesn't make any sense, right? We're not going to talk about, yeah, you can't go to the store and use Bitcoin to buy anything because nobody cares. It's not what it's for. It's for holding your value, storing your money, right? Out of a bank. You go to the bank right now, try to take out, you have 10 grand in the bank, try to take it out. Go to the store and go to the bank and try to take it all out at once. They will not allow you to take out your Bitcoin. I mean, your cash, period. Bitcoin, you can take it out whenever the hell you want. So that's the main reason here, right? It's not about transacting with it daily. And there is places that do take Bitcoin, but you're just stupid if you're actually using Bitcoin to buy things. So I'm not trying to put you on the spot, but you got to kill some of that FUD because that doesn't make any sense. See, it's a joke. None of you really want it in America's stores to accept cryptocurrency as a main currency. That doesn't make any sense. Because that's not what Bitcoin's for. Bitcoin's not for everyday transactions. It's peer-to-peer, not peer-to-store. That's not what Bitcoin's for. I'm just throwing it out there.
To play around in the mid-cycle. We haven't had any of this crazy blow-off moments or anything like that. And also, like CryptoCon pointed out, you generally have some form of a double top on this RSI, and we've only just had the first top. So to put that into perspective, that would be like being right here in January of 2023, or 2013, excuse me, or here of March 2017, or here of November 2021. So, I mean, look at the charts, look at where we are. And again, you know, I do still think there's potential for some short-term downside price action. I mean, you know, there is a possibility that, who knows, you know, maybe this is a giant bull flag that's forming, right? And then that's a possibility. But ultimately, I think you're looking for that move to the upside. So, you know, just remember, guys,
what are you using the store of value for? So you don't lose your value of your money. All right, look at the US dollar. Look at the value that it's lost over the last 100 years. That's my point.
Bitcoin is still relatively new. It's only been around for 15 years. If you compare that to basically the internet adoption, you could see that Bitcoin actually is arguably catching on a little bit faster, believe it or not, than the internet did, probably because it's on the internet and everybody uses internet. But, you know, this is what we're looking at, guys, right here as total users. I mean, we're only really around 300 million roughly, okay? There is a lot more of this adoption to go. And before we move on, talking about central banks, talking about money printing, there is this amazing video that came out a few years ago from Godfrey Bloom, and he really breaks down the situation of the banks. And before we get back into everything Bitcoin related, I really think that this is a video that everybody needs to see.
It is my opinion that you do not really understand the concept of banking. All the banks are broke. Bank Santander, Deutsche Bank, Royal Bank of Scotland, they're all broke. And why are they broke? It isn't an act of God. It isn't some sort of tsunami. They're broke because we have a system called fractional reserve banking, which means that banks can lend money that they don't actually have. It's a criminal scandal, and it's been going on for too long. To add to that problem, you have moral hazard, a very significant moral hazard from the political sphere. And most of the problem starts in politics and central banks, which are part of the same political system. We have counterfeiting, sometimes called quantitative easing, but counterfeiting by any other name. The artificial printing of money, which if any ordinary person did, they'd go to prison for a very long time. And yet governments and central banks do it all the time. Central banks repress the amount of interest that rates are, so we don't have the real cost of money. And yet we blame the real retail banks for manipulating LIBOR. The sheer effrontery of this is quite astonishing. It's central banks. It's central banks that manipulate interest rates, Commissioner. And plus, underneath all this, we talk loosely, in a rather cavalier fashion, do we not, about deposit guarantees. So when banks go broke through their own incompetence and chicanery, the taxpayer picks up the tab. It's theft from the taxpayer.
100%.
And we all know at the end of the day, the money...
That guy's a savage. That was sick.
Printers will get turned
That's
back
so
on. And I think you're realizing, or at least people are realizing, I do believe that, you know, ultimately we are a lot more financially literate. I mean, you could joke about the TikTokers and all that stuff and Gen Z, whatever, but for the most part, there's a lot more interest and a lot more understanding in the world right now when it comes to finances, right? This, especially with the internet and things like Twitter, right? With all this, you know, basically, I don't even watch the news. I just, you know, you can go to Twitter and you can get the news before the news even has it, right? And it's probably a lot more honest than the news. But, you know, getting back to the, for example, what BitMEX founder Arthur Hayes was saying, he was discussing in a blog post, he says, as we exit the window of weakness that I forecasted would occur due to the, you know, we also mentioned the US tax payments, right? Some people unfortunately had to sell some of their crypto to pay their taxes. I want to remind readers why the bull market will continue and prices will get sillier on the upside. Rarely in markets do the things that got here, Bitcoin, for example, from zero in 2009 to $70,000 this year. This is basically how you get to $1 million Bitcoin. However, the macro setup that created the fiat liquidity surge that powered Bitcoin's ascent will only get more pronounced as the sovereign debt bubble begins to burst. If you thought it was absurd what the US monetary and political elites did to solve the 2008 global financial crisis and COVID, well, you ain't seen nothing yet, right? But, you know, maybe I am a little bit too hard on Gen Z and TikTok. Maybe they do have it all figured out.
USA is in debt. Everybody's in debt. Why don't we just print more money? And hold on, because I've heard the whole inflation, it'll go up topic. Well, just don't. Just don't make it go up. Just get the printers going. Let's print some more money. Like, aren't we the ones printing money? Hold on. Let me really logically
Are we watching this right now?
The trees make paper, the paper is money. Okay, so we cut down more trees, snip, snip, and we print some more money. The world would be a better place if I was president. No inflation, nothing goes up. We just print more money. We don't just give it away.
DJ says she's got that TikTok brain.
We're not in debt anymore. Because aren't we like a lot in debt? Okay, I'm not stupid. But like, for real though, should I like go tell the president? Like, hey, I know we were having some financial problems. I just had a little idea. Print some more money. Isn't it just like that simple? I feel like so many world problems are just like really simple.
All right, it ends in a few seconds.
Like what other? I mean, I guess the printers, they cost some money. Maybe labor.
This is why TikTok should be banned, says
I mean, I'll print the dang money.
my wife.
And
That's
then the
hysterical.
trees, the ink. But other than that, I mean, hey, we got more money. I just don't.
I sincerely apologize that you had to watch that, but if I had to watch that, you have to watch that. So, I don't know. Whatever that was. Seriously, though, let's talk about something a little more realistic as to why you're going to end up seeing Bitcoin continue to appreciate. And Jack Mallers was over here speaking with David Lynn. And of course, you know, he's still in the camp like I am that there's going to be $1 million Bitcoin. But we have
I still don't understand the empty closet he sits in. But it's a dope room. Like, use it for something, man.
Crisis in front of us, guys. And it really seems like in these types of moments, this is why people turn to Bitcoin.
I just don't think that enough people have a big enough imagination of this upcoming cycle I'm expecting. I mean, the bond market is in trouble for really arguably the first time in modern financial history. Bondholders are getting absolutely demolished and crushed. Now, David, who owns bonds? All of our banks. So our bank deposits aren't there because the bonds that were purchased with my deposit is underwater.
Is this a green screen? This is not a green screen. There's no way. Somebody said fake house. No way.
So if central banks and government is going to try and save that market. The amount
I'd be very upset if that was a fake room because I always thought it was real.
of liquidity that's needed is going to send assets very high. I mean, you can try and do napkin math.
I don't know.
And I joke, like, how many
Maybe it is.
COVIDs are we going to get if they try and bail out this market that we're in today? You may get 2-3 COVID. So if that happens, it's impossible to speculate on an asset as scarce as Bitcoin, but I think 250,000 to $1 million is the imagination I have in that range of just how big this can get. And that's based on all the liquidity that's going to be required to make this market solvent.
I've also been hearing some discrepancies about whether or not these ETFs have been successful or if they're having massive outflows or what's going on. Are these guys selling? Now, there are a few people that have pointed out that there are some major shorts on Bitcoin right now. But if you ask me personally, okay, I think they might be able to scalp it, right? We could go down to the 55, 58K level. Maybe they win. But eventually what you're going to end up having is a massive short squeeze. And I think when that happens, that's when we break the $74,000 range. And that's when we can escalate very, very quickly towards $90,000 to $100,000 for Bitcoin. And right now we're in that boring stage, but I'm going to tell you, this happens quicker than most think. You're going to be bored. You're going to be not paying attention. Everything's going to seem like it's falling. You're giving up. You're losing hope. And then you're going to wake up the next day and Bitcoin's going to be at $80,000. And that's exactly what these markets do. They have these insane moves. They have these retracements, these cool off periods. A lot of people start walking away. They get bored. They think it's over. They start panicking. And the next thing you know, they're missing out because now they're like, well, should I buy? Well, you could have bought at 55 or 60, or maybe we won't go there, but you know, they're going to call you up and say, should I buy now? It's going to be 80, 90, 100, right? But let's talk about the ETFs, right? Let's see what's really been happening with these numbers. So BlackRock's Bitcoin ETF has entered the top 10 all time for longest sequential inflows. And this is an update from Andrew. So BlackRock's IBIT will eclipse Grayscale by the end of the month. Don't look now, but Fidelity is on the same path. Oh, and by the way, guys, BlackRock has had 70 consecutive weeks? 70 consecutive days of net inflows. So, I mean, that's pretty incredible, guys. It's literally been over 2 months of solid inflows. And yes, we are seeing a decrease in Grayscale, and that's good. And it's creating an equilibrium. And you could argue that, you know, it's kind of topped out here, but the fact that we continue to see GBTC falling, okay, they had about 46%. And now they have around 36%, which is good. But they said soon enough, you know, Grayscale will plug the leak and stop the outflows. If not, they simply run out of Bitcoin to sell. And this is the only reason really why we're having these prices being held below these levels. But this is all healthy, right? This is what you want to see in these markets regardless, because again, look at all these massive inflows, right? BlackRock did $37.9 million this was a few days ago. Yesterday, I'm sorry.
That's crazy.
And the outflows of Grayscale increased compared to the 66.9 million. So ultimately, like they're saying, the markets are probably gonna remain boring until these sellers are exhausted, and eventually we will run out of them, right? Also, don't forget the fact that El Salvador is buying 1 Bitcoin per day. Not that that's a huge amount, but they are doing that. But look at what Eric Belchunez points out, okay?
I mean, it's a lot for their economy, right?
Have new high water mark for investment into one of the Bitcoin ETFs. 2 different advisors each put in $20 million to FBTC. One is from Kansas and the other is from Minnesota. So you have more of these big players entering. Look at this, guys. Morgan Stanley considers allowing brokers to recommend spot Bitcoin ETFs to their clients. Now, remember, I had explained to you that these things take time, especially with these bigger players, right? They kind of need to see a track record. They need to see that the product is legit, right? They want to see the inflows. They want to see the performance. And some of these still, this is going to sound crazy, have allocation periods of waiting up to 4 to 6 months before they can actually start recommending it to their clients. So again, we're only just getting started. Trust me, there's a lot more capital that will be deployed. And again, you know, the money printer's going on. You have the new US Senate bill that could encourage banks to enter stablecoin markets. So again, just going more digital, getting more into crypto. And, you know, here's just a side story. Here's breaking news. The state of Ohio has officially introduced a bill to protect fundamental Bitcoin rights, the right to buy and sell Bitcoin, the right to mine Bitcoin, the right to run a node, and the right to self-custody your digital assets. So while everyone's freaking out, about Biden proposing 44% for capital gains for millionaires, which is ridiculous. I mean, I've really never understood that system. Let me know what you think about this in the comments, because this is something I've gone through. Like, as I've made more money, I get taxed more. And I just don't understand, like, why are you punishing the people for making more money? It should just be like a flat rate. I don't know. What do I know? I'm crazy. I don't, do policies like that. But side note, also, don't forget, guys, on April 30th, we have Hong Kong looking to debut their Bitcoin and Ethereum ETFs. And there is a lot of money in China, guys. And these big whales that
Is that like an active boat? That thing looks like it's from the 1700s.
have not had the opportunity to allocate to this asset class, they are going to jump into it. Now, is it going to be as big? Excuse me. Is it going to be as big as the U.S. ETFs? Well, we don't really know. I mean, that's to be seen how big it catches on. But again, there are a lot of people in China, and they are going to utilize the Hong Kong hub in order to gain access to these cryptocurrencies. So
that's a fishing boat over in Hong Kong. Is that what that is? Weird.
This is kind of where I wanted to end on this video. We had Mike Alfred. I really love following this guy over on Twitter. Sometimes he can be a bit of a troll, but it's funny. I love reading his comments. And, first he's talking about how he has a target of Bitcoin for 90,000 relatively soon, like within the next couple months, which I think is very
That's realistic
plausible.
For sure.
But, he just kind of summarizes again what I've been trying to say in this video. And I know that like the popular opinion is not that we're going to go down maybe necessarily, or people don't want to hear that. But I think what we're doing is we're just setting up the base. We're just coiling up like a spring, and we're getting ready for that blast off. But ultimately, I think this perspective really breaks it down.
The market is not slowly dropping. It's consolidating sideways, and people capitulate because we don't make a new high every single day. Today's price action does not change Mike's conviction of what might happen in 2 months.
Yep. And it definitely doesn't change it over 5 years. Right. And again, like my time horizon is 5 or 10 years on Bitcoin. It always has been. Most of the Bitcoin I own today was acquired in the end of 2018, right? And going into 2019, right? So the vast majority of the Bitcoin I hold was acquired 5 or 6 years ago, right? So I held all the way through, going all the way up to 70 and all the way back down to 16, right? So like, I'm not selling because we are going from 66 to 63, because I think we're ultimately getting to $1 million within 10 years. And that interests me a lot more. Like, candidly, $5,000 Bitcoin moves don't change anything in my life, because if you're not liquidating any of your coins and you're not spending them, then it doesn't really matter. Like, the price on the screen is just the price on the screen. You could choose to act on it, but I would argue that most people shouldn't. Like, Bitcoin is this really, really unique collateral asset. Is super pristine. It's got beautiful monetary policy. It can't be disrupted. Like, why would you trade that away for fiat right now? Like, it just seems crazy to me. But
I just have to point out that, like, this is the sentiment, is that we're dropping, like that we're dumping. Zoom out, guys. We were at 17,000 in November of 22. This has been up only with some sideways consolidation in the middle, but you're going to get bearish because we're sideways for a little while. Just think about that. Like,
and we're up 42.
There will be a top, and you'll be correct, but we're up multiples, 4x on a huge asset from the bottom. And we're talking about slow bleed. You shouldn't be bullish. I mean, I'm trying to help you guys. Not, this guy says Scott is triggered because he's losing so much. You're literally watching a YouTube video and complaining about the content that you're choosing to watch. I mean, think about that for a second, because you can't handle the fact that someone thinks price is going to go up. Then short.
Well, Bitcoin is up 42.8%.
Yeah, you can make money both ways, up or down, right? You can just short it or long it, or you just hold it, right? It's everybody has their own decisions. Make your own bed and lie in it. That's it.
Year to date, and the S&P, as going in today, it was only up 6.97%, right? So Bitcoin's beating the S&P by 6x, and the S&P is going to drop again today. I mean, so the Bitcoin drop is already priced into that year to date number, right?
Yeah.
Because we already know Bitcoin's going to be down today. We already know the miners are going to be down today. Again, doesn't really matter though, because what really matters is, like, what does the Bitcoin price do over the next 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 quarters during what should be kind of the peak of the of the next bull cycle for Bitcoin. And historically, those numbers always surprise people to the upside. Like the way I think about it really simply is I think there's probably 10 or 15K of downside max. And that's probably like, I'm probably being too bearish in saying that, because realistically, maybe 55K is the bottom. So you've got like 8K of downside and you've got something like 250K of upside from here. So something like 30 times the upside to the downside. Generally, when you see those types of setups, it's like it's sports betting. Like you don't necessarily have to know the winner of each game, but if you take bets where you have a slightly positive expectation 100 times, you might only get 51% right or 53% right. But if you take those positive expected value setups, you tend to make money over time. It's about systematically compounding your capital. And to me, this is that high value, the super high value area for long-term holders of Bitcoin. Like if you want to add or you need a new position, like you basically want to start taking it as aggressively as you can now, because again, even if you go to 55, if you're at 90 or 100 in 3 months or 2 months, then what's the difference?
So that's it for me, guys. Thank you so much for coming back to the channel. Hope you had a great, having a great day. Hope you have a great weekend. And this is just sort of what we're looking at. So, I've seen in the comments, there's a little bit of negativity. Some people are bummed out. They're bored. Look, guys, it's not going to be like up only, and it's not going to be, crashing only. Sometimes you get these really boring consolidations, but these consolidations are very, very healthy for the market. You really don't want markets to just go up in a straight line, because usually when you have that type of move, number one, you have a shortened cycle typically. Number two, you don't get to some of those higher levels, right? Because there's just too many people making too much money too fast. And then you have these major sell-offs. That's where you see these 40, 50% crashes. So again, 20% pullback, 30% pullback, that's perfectly fine. And ultimately, I still just believe that we are basically range bound. We're just bouncing around in this area, right? So,
it's typically a falling wedge, right? Falling wedges will break to the upside, or usually break to the upside. So
we have this right here as the bottom around 61, and we have this right here as the top around 72. So, really, you need to break below this to start getting, I wouldn't even say worried, because like I said, you still have that support. Oh, look at this. Look at this, guys. If we fall straight down, that's 56,000. But I'm crazy, right? I'm crazy just because I'm seeing all these things on the charts. But guys, anyway, that's it for me. Like I said.
All right, let's get into the recap segment of things. See what you guys are saying in the chat a little bit, and we'll get into that. All right, let's see. We have Bitcoin. Anybody just joining? $63,903. We have Ethereum at 31.20. Not too bad. Looking pretty good. Let's see. Them wedges are highly unpredictable, says Nerd Beast. Yes, I mean, chart at the end of the day, charts they can be unpredictable, but at the same time, you can get a lot of things from them. LTC up 5.15% today, $87. ETC at $26. Caspa still under 12 cents. Goodbye, in my opinion. ADA 46 cents. XRP at 51 cents. We have Solana 141 bucks. Everything looks to be on sale. My opinion. Perfect. Even though it looks green, still on sale. Let's see. What's the biggest earner or loser on the week? Damn, Bonk. Holy shit. Bonk rose up 76.4% on the week. We have H-bar, as you guys know, that was off of some FUD hype, and that ended real abruptly within like a couple hours, right? 6 hours or so. Pepe's up 44.4%. Let's see, Near up 26.7%. It's Near Protocol. Everything looks really good, guys. Tawn's down 21%. Crazy. DJ Death Star in the house. Thank you so much for the super chat. He said, thanks for everything, bruh. It's hard to make a lucid argument with someone who doesn't really understand what coins like Bitcoin and Ethereum are for. Doge, Litecoin, and others are designed for transactions. I agree, but I mean, at the end of the day, everybody's entitled to their opinion, right? And it is what it is. I get it. I totally get it. Yeah, I don't know. People are gonna believe what they want to believe. It's the reason I compared Bitcoin to gold is the fact that it is a store of value. It is not easily liquid with in regards to like transacting with it at stores and stuff, but at the end of the day, it is way easier to transact peer-to-peer versus gold, right? Sending gold through a box to somebody, like, it would cost you an arm and a leg, and it would take like weeks. Right? But yeah, I don't know. Hey, it is what it is. It's one of those things, man. It's just people have their own opinions, and it is what it is. Not a big deal. Who gives a shit? Who cares, man? We're all just here to hang out. Let's see. No one wanted to censor you. I don't even know why you keep saying that. No one's censoring you on your opinion. That's your opinion. Totally get it. I mean, hey, it is what it is. Anyways, all right. Let's see. Cardano again. I think Cardano might be a decent buy. I've been saying it for a couple weeks now. I've been DCing into it. I think I'm going to throw a couple $100 into it today, just because, again, 2017 bull run is up over $1. 2021 bull run up over $3. All-time high was 309, and it's down 84%. I think we have a good shot to at least 6x this coin, at least in my opinion, when the bull run comes, when altcoin season happens, which typically does every 4 years shortly after Bitcoin pumps, right? So we'll see. We will see what happens. But yeah, let me know what coins you guys are into. As you guys know, it is Friday, so hopefully you guys enjoy Friday, enjoy payday. Be safe. Don't do anything stupid. We're going to raid Miss Randy Hipper. She goes live in about 15 minutes. I got to get back to daddy duty. I'm going to leave you guys with this. You're all fantastic. Appreciate you all. Have a good day. And I'll catch you guys bright and early tomorrow morning, 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Peace out.
I wanna hold on till I can't no more.
Have a safe and happy Friday. Appreciate you all for hanging with me. Let's go raid Miss Randy Hipper. Peace, peace.
Eat shit.